What's up everyone, Chris here from MTR Network, and I am finally back with another on-camera review and video, whatnot. Yeah, what can I say? It's just from recovering from San Diego Comic-Con to preparing for New York Comic-Con to work to moving, not being in my own house and my regular studio. I just have not had time to keep setting up and doing videos, but I'm making an exception today. And hopefully towards the rest of the year, we'll be doing more videos. We have The Predator coming out soon, so we'll be doing a video review for that soon. But that's not what we're here to review today. Not what I'm here to review today. Today I'm here to review and discuss discuss the first 6 issues of Iron Fist Season 2. Got early screeners for it. They only released the first 6 episodes. They didn't give us the full 10. That's one of the changes they made this season. They're doing 10 episodes instead of 13. So this video is not really a review, more of a quick, like, my early thoughts of the season so far. And what I'll do is when I watch the last 4 episodes when they release on Friday the 7th, I will go ahead and do a full review of what I thought of the entire season. So let's get right into it and to discuss season 2 of Iron Fist. Let's be honest here. Season 1 of Iron Fist did not get a good reception, to put it lightly. It was marred with controversy from the beginning, from them, casting Finn Jones to having Scott Buck as the showrunner and writer, to the whole controversy behind having an Asian American as playing Iron Fist instead of whitewashing and having Danny Rand. And we'll get into the whole well, Danny Rand's always white. We'll get into that later. I mean, it just did not go well. And then there was just the fact that it just wasn't really a good product at the end. The fight scenes were with Finn Jones were actually pretty terrible, and when you have an unathletic white boy who just does not seem to have the fight choreography down, it doesn't do well when it's supposed to be dealing with his character being the best martial artist ever. So season 1 of Iron Fist had its issues, but yeah, they made a lot of changes this season, from season 1 to season 2, and the first being his new showrunner. His name is Raven Metzner. He's taken over, and he's now the showrunner to Scott Buck. Scott Buck still gets Crater Scott Buck. He still gets that credit, but I don't think he has anything to do with this. They clearly took more time to shoot this. It didn't feel rushed. The other thing too is Finn Jones now has, he had season 1 under his belt, 13 episodes, which, to be fair, as that season went on, he got better into that role. He was way better in Defenders, and we recently just saw him in season 2 of Luke Cage, and he was wonderful in that. So, Finn Jones coming into season 2 of Iron Fist is just in a better position with the character. He's kind of grown into the role. It's just, everything just feels a little bit better with this production. It feels like almost like a do-over, not story-wise, but just in the production that they've done. So again, like I said, I'm gonna go through, I think I have like 7 things that I'm gonna kind of go through, just what I think really works well with this season. And like I said, when it's all over this weekend, I'll come back and do my full review of the season. So here we go. All right, so first thing, I kind of mentioned this already, the first thing that I think this season has going for it, no Scott Buck. Scott Buck did not have a good year when Iron Fist came out. I think he was showrunner for Iron Fist, and he was also showrunner for Inhumans, and both of those sucked. Now, I will give Iron Fist credit. It was not as terrible as Inhumans. Inhumans was insufferable. It was terrible. But Scott Buck should not be asked to be a showrunner ever again. It was just not good. And not having his name attached to this after having those 2 stingers of season 1 of Iron Fist and Inhumans, I think was a good move, and everything just feels better. Like, the things that were problems in season 1, they don't seem to be there, and I think you have to start with who's running the show. And Raven is doing a really great, has done a really great job, and it doesn't have the stink of Scott Buck on it. And I think that's one of the biggest things you notice when you start this season. So number 2, again, something I already mentioned at the beginning of this, Finn Jones has grown into the role. Now, look, I am not going to continue every time we talk about Iron Fist or Danny Rand being in this show. I'm not going to keep rehashing the whole whitewashing, should have been an Asian American Iron Fist. It should have been. Now, I know I'm going to get comments and people going, Danny Rand is white in the comics. Why does it change? Like, from the beginning, he should have been Asian American. And if you, at this point, still don't understand that, then you need to go, well, actually, I'm not even going to tell you to go read up on why the argument is he should have been Asian American, because you obviously don't care and you're just trolling at this point. So I'm going to stop bringing that up because it's just going to be, I think those people who make that assessment and are always going to be against Finn Jones as Danny Rand, because of that, they have that right. I think they are right on that. For me, I have to move on and I have to continue on reviewing this, and objectively and being unbiased, he has grown into the role. And ever since season 1 of Iron Fist, I have liked him as Danny Rand. He was great in Defenders. He was an annoying, cocky white dude. And pairing him with Luke Cage, he did it in Defenders, and then also with it was episode 10 of Luke Cage season 2. It's great. I actually enjoy him. And in this season, Finn Jones, again, he's grown as a character. He has new motivations, and he's still Danny, still runs headfirst in. It can still be annoying, but that's part of the character of Danny Rand. And I think he's doing really well with it. And then when you get into the action scenes, he's better at it. He's had chances to actually, again, I'll keep going back to this. That first season was so rushed. He clearly didn't get chances to practice. And so, yeah, if this is what we're going to be, if we're going to have Finn Jones as Danny Rand, and that is the standard of what we have now, I have to say he is way better in the role, and I actually like him in this. I think he does a really great job this season, and it's a huge improvement over season 1. So kind of piggybacking off of what I just said in that second thing is better fights. And by better fights, I mean they're shot better. Like, what was it? Episode 2 or 3 of season 1 where they had that ridiculous scene where it was like 36 cuts for a 30-second fight or something like that. You don't get that stuff anymore. Like the cameras pull back, you actually see the action. It flows. There's some really good fight scenes in here with all the characters. Colleen has her moments. Davos has his moments. Obviously, Danny has his moments too. And everybody feels like they belong. Like, they're good fight scenes. They're engaging. And I think they're way better than season 1. Like, in season 1, you kind of felt Danny was outmatched every time. Here, you don't get that feeling. And you gotta give credit. Again, I feel like taking their time and actually putting some effort into this, because I feel like they did effort versus season 1, just shows you how much more you can go when you put more focus on quality versus rushing a product out the door. So, who knew? Go figure, right? So to me, one of the redeeming qualities of season 1, and one of the more interesting things about season 1, I think this is something that happens. It's definitely apparent in season 1 of Iron Fist, and then you can make the argument for the season 1 and 2 of Luke Cage is there are other side characters that are more interesting, and to me in season 1 of Iron Fist, those characters were the Meachums. Like, to me, the Meachum drama in season 1 is what makes it so I can't throw that entire season away. Yes, Danny and Finn Jones in that was some garbage. I will not argue with that. Anybody wants to try to say otherwise, you are wrong. He was garbage in season 1. However, the Meachum drama with Joy and Ward and their father, and I think his father's name is Harold, but then in this season, with season 2, it kind of continues on. It's compelling. In this season, you're getting the fallout from season 1, where you have Joy is obviously still angry at Ward, and Ward is trying to make amends. And I'm gonna be honest, I really enjoy that. I enjoy that drama there. Ward is very tortured, and Ward, like even in season 1, you just feel like Ward is a villain. He has a villain haircut, that slick back hair. He just feels like a villain, but you get so many other you get so many other dynamics to him, and it just makes that it makes it for really, really compelling TV. To be perfectly honest, I'd watch an entire season of just the Meachums, because just their conversations. There's some scenes with Joey and Ward talking, and man, they went through some shit. Like, you understand why Joey is upset at Ward, but you also see that Ward is trying, but you also know why Joey can't forgive him for what he did in season 1. Like, it's really, really compelling, and it continues on in the season. I think that's really, really great. And I think it was really, really smart to, again, make that part of this season and continue on with that. Going along with, just kind of going down the line of the characters, Colleen has her own little story in this, and she's trying to find herself. And I think one thing that's really, there are pluses and minuses of the Netflix shows. They're always very, very grounded. I think that kind of hurts them. I mean, even for Marvel TV, like, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not as grounded as you would think. I mean, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. has powers. They have Inhumans. They've done some crazy shit. They went to space. Like, it's still a very, MCU feeling. Like, Netflix Marvel, on the other hand, is very, very grounded. And in that grounding, the stories and what draws you in there is usually the pairing of the characters. So here you have Colleen, and obviously it's Colleen and Danny, and they're fine, and that's a big part here with their relationship. But at least for the episodes I've brought in, Misty comes in around, I think it's episode 4, and you start getting more of that Misty and Colleen pairing, and people are calling for a Daughters of the Dragon spinoff, and I don't know if you can do I will say you can do an entire series on Daughters of the Dragon with Colleen and Misty starting a PI firm and going there solving crimes. Like, that would be amazing and would work, because those two work really, really well together. And we got a little bit of that taste in season 2 of Luke Cage, but you really get that here in season 2 of Iron Fist. I don't know if Misty's going to be there through the rest of the season, but I do know in the episode she's been in there. I mean, once she appears, it becomes she's been there teamed up with Colleen, and it's a really, really good. They're really just really, really good together, and it kind of allows Colleen to exist without Danny, because it felt like in season 1 her whole thing was so tied to Danny, and because of the hand, and then having her dating Danny, she was really kind of joined to the hip, but she didn't really have her own agency. Here she has there's a little mystery with her. I'm hoping they kind of bring that back, and I think they will bring that a little bit back towards the back half of the season. And then again, just pairing her up with Misty, just at a point that Misty kind of asks her what her 5-year plan is, and you can kind of see how they're kind of starting to build that up to them kind of forming that partnership, and I think it will work. Again, the pairings in this show work really well. Luke and Jessica work well together. Luke and Danny work well together. But Misty and Colleen are also a really good pairing together, and I really look forward to seeing more of that. Davos, Sasha Darwin, I think that's his last name, is again. The thing about season 2 of Iron Fist is they knew they messed up with season 1. And what they've done is they've taken the things that people did like in season 1 and have made sure you get more of it. And Davos was another one of those pieces of season 1 that was actually really, really good. We just didn't get enough of him. So by making him kind of the main villain here in this season, you get more of Davos, and he's such a compelling villain. Because you start to you get some flashbacks, and I want to say it's either I think it's about episode 4. You get these flashbacks of what happened to him in Kunlun, and you can kind of see why Davos is as, I'll put it, intense as he is. and what his motivations are, and it's pretty fucking compelling. And you see why, like, this whole season's basically him trying to take back what he believes was rightfully his and was stolen from him. And you get these flashback scenes of, you know, him and Danny and Davos's fight to become the Immortal Iron Fist. You get to see kind of the backstory of what happened and the pressure that was put on the Davos and why he feels the way he does. There's a really powerful scene with Davos talking to his mother, and it's really great. It's great acting, and it's a really great, like, almost heartbreaking scene. And again, you make your villain almost sympathetic, and that makes a good villain. Like, great villains are always sympathetic, and they made Davos sympathetic in this season. And yeah, like, you kind of, I'm not going to say Davos is right, but he's not right, but I think he is right in his anger at Danny, because there's another scene with Danny and Davos talking, and Danny's trying to lecture Davos, and Davos kind of hits back at him like, you kind of abandoned your duties as the Immortal Iron Fist, so maybe you shouldn't have that duty, because you can't lecture me, you didn't follow through yourself. And he's not wrong in that. So I really like the focus on Davos and having that there, and having that, again, they touched on something in season 1 with the theme being family, and with Joy and Ward being that family aspect there. What they've done here is, because Danny's always calling Davos his brother, you kind of turn this into Davos and Danny being brothers. So now you have two families that are angry at each other. You have Joy and Ward, and Joy has a legit gripe with Ward and why she's angry at him, and you had the same thing with Davos and Danny, and a legit gripe there. Their methods are wrong, but you understand their motivations, and again, I think that's a better, there's not as many twists and turns and going back and forth as season 1, and that focus, I think, makes it a lot better. And you also don't have Danny run around for the entire season going, but I'm the Immortal Iron Fist. Like, you don't have, we're moved off. We're so far past that, and we can focus on the story. I actually I've kind of replayed this, recorded this section like 2 or 3 times already, because I had said different things in here, and I didn't want to spoil something, because some people might not know, like, more about the characters he's playing in this role. So I won't go into details until after, when we do the full review. But I'll just say this: Alice Eve can do creepy. She can do creepy really well. I know in some other roles she's been, I think she was in Into Darkness and Star Trek Into Darkness, and sometimes that deadpan face she makes while saying her lines doesn't play, because you want to get some more emotion from the character. But I will say, in this role that she's playing for Iron Fist season 2, it works really well. And her having the deadpan face, saying a line, and then going off and doing something totally different and switching on a dime, it works really well, and it's creepy. It's very creepy, and her character is definitely a welcome surprise in this season, and it works. So you guys have it. That is my early thoughts, early review of the first 6 episodes of Iron Fist season 2. Like I said, when the last 4 drop, or we get access to the last 4, I'll come back and kind of give my entire wrap around my head thoughts of the season. We'll also be going on to we'll be doing some audio reviews with some of my people for the podcast, and we'll go into more details with that. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think it's a very huge improvement over season 1. The acting, the action, I feel like everybody's kind of knows their role, and I do think that going down from 13 episodes to 10 episodes makes everything kind of move pretty quickly. Like, again, I'm halfway through the season already, did 6 already, got 4 more left, and we're moving along. And people have been asking for them to shorten down the last, these shows down to 10 episodes, and they did. And I think 10's a sweet spot. I think Defenders with 8, I think 8 was too short. I do think 10 is a good sweet spot. So yeah, like I said, I liked it. So far I'm enjoying season 2. I think that I need some more time to think about if I enjoy this more than season 2 at this point. Season 2 of Luke Cage, but I mean, I enjoyed both of them, but yeah, I think this has gone pretty well, and I think people really enjoy it when it comes out. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, MTR Network, and when the full season drops, I will be back with another full review of this. You can also check us out and check out our reviews. Go to MTR Network on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and or Google Play Music, wherever you get your favorite podcast at. Just put MTR Network in, and you'll find us there doing more reviews. And if you want our movie reviews, kind of we have been reviewing movies. We've just been doing them on the podcast. Search for movie trailer reviews on iTunes, and we'll pop right up. And when you're there, leave us a 5-star review and listen to our reviews from there. So, again, folks, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to subscribe. We'll be back soon. Peace.